Blessed be high, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy set apart name. In Yeshua, the true and living word, I shall be confident. In Yeshua, the true and living word, the Father shall be glorified. Blessed be high on this beautiful Sabbath day, brothers and sisters. I pray that you all are well. Give me a second, real quick. Push this back. Okay. Today we will be talking about the power of the word. Well, I can't remember the title because the Most High told me to title it that way. But the power in the word of the Most High. Yeah, the power of the word of the Most High. We will be in Matthew chapter 24 and Daniel and Psalms. And babe, what's that precept? Can you the precept that you said you got in Joshua?
Joshua 11,
All right, what verse?
the whole thing.
All right, bet. Okay. As I rose this rising out of my sleep, the Holy Spirit shared with me the scripture of when this gospel was preached, verse 14 of Matthew 24. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come. So,
You start at verse 18.
of Joshua,
You start
all right, thank you.
verse 18.
Thank you. So, as after I heard that and waking up out of my sleep, my heart meditated upon it, and then he showed me from the beginning with his word that to the end, his in the beginning his word ordained all things, and his word is going to end all things. Now, what I'm saying on that is, we know that in the beginning the word created all things, and everything that was made by him was not made. That's John 1:1. Now we have more clarity on why the Mashiach said in Revelation 1:8. Let's get that precept. Revelation 1:8. And it says, I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, says the Most High, who is and who was and who is to come, the Almighty. So we've always heard that, but when he gives us the spiritual breakdown and the revelation of what he's saying, you have to think about it. The Mashiach is the word. The word is what put all things into course of action. Anything outside of the world of the word of the Most High, it is non-existent. It is not real, and it is certainly not true. In the beginning was the word, and in the end, we already have the end. There's no book on this earth that you can read throughout the book, and it gives you conclusion of the end throughout the book. The word of the Most High covers the now, the present, and the future. Now let's go back to Matthew 24. We're going to look at this in another perspective. Remember, when this gospel of the kingdom, we've heard of gospels of heaven and hell. We heard of the gospel of love. And when I say the gospel of love, it's coming with the gospel of deception. The world's love and the Father's love is different. The world's love does not come with stipulations. The world's love is just broad and just allows all things to occur. But the love of the Father is protection. And I learned that also when I was rising up this morning after he told me, when this gospel is preached, then the end will come, right? I thought about it and I said, yeah, but it was like my spirit man took over my mindset of comprehension, and the understanding was clear to me. Shalom, Sister Tara Wallace. Oh, yes, we are definitely well. It's good to see you, sis. I pray the same for you and your family and household, especially also in this season of Purim. When we remember what our sister, beloved sister, Hadassah, aka Esther, did. And I want to share some good stuff with you on that later, too. So, but let me get back to the subject. So, the Father let me know, like, the beginning and end. So, we're talking about the kingdom, right? The kingdom of darkness. And when he said to me, when this gospel's preached, the end will come. The end of what? We have to understand the comprehension of what the end is. It's the end of this rulership, the kingdom of darkness. Now, there's something else he showed me too. I don't want to jump beforehand, but I'm just so excited because as a Christian, when I wanted to know the truth about tribulation and all these things, he showed me Matthew 24. But now that he's showing me Matthew 24, it's with another understanding. It gives us the importance of why we must not hold back when it comes to like say if you're in an encounter with someone, you're out and about and the Holy Spirit puts something on your spirit to say something to someone, but you intimidate or you feel timid of what their reaction is going to be. You're more fearful of the unknown rather than you allowing the unknown from your obedience to occur on behalf of the Father. So let me just go over here to Matthew 24. We're going to start from the beginning on down. I'm going to let the Father bring this out because this is a beautiful breakdown he's given me this morning. All right, so we're starting with now, and not only are we going to be talking about the clarity of understanding the importance of the gospel of truth being preached, but we're going to also talk about how the enemy wanted to misrepresent the sequence of the prophecies falling out. So we're going to begin at verse 1. Then Yeshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came up to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yeshua said to them, "Do you not see all these things? Surely I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down." We know that when our King speaks, he's not just talking about the things in our physical eyesight, but he's talking about spiritually. In other words, do you not see the signs of my appearance? My very appearance in speaking to you is a manifestation of what Isaiah and all the prophets have spoken. This is another reason why most people are not able to recognize truth, because they were unaware of what truth was supposed to look like in the first place. Their truth for them was supposed to come save them from the heart bondage, and then we can go back and just go back to our ways that put us in that. But the salvation that we're going to be reading about is a salvation. And the understanding we're going to get from the Most High's commandments is protection. It is critical for you being a child of the Most High, a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or a heathen that's clinging unto out of faith and reverential fear. It is important for you to understand that the commandments is your protection. It is your security. Now, verse 3, and he sat on the Mount of Olives. The disciples came to him privately saying, so when he mentioned to them about all these things going to fall down, they didn't ask him then. He's saying this in the midst of the temple, in the surrounding of the temple. They soon go away, and they come over to him without the crowd and say, hey, tell us when will be the destruction of the temple. That's the first thing. We need to break this down. Where's my dry erase? Break them open, okay? All right. Okay, so now, we're going to break this down in steps, okay? I don't know if I can get y'all to see this, but breakdown of events. Okay, we're going to say breakdown of events. All right. Probably can't see it that way because it's written the opposite way. Well, I'm going to just write it on my paper then, and I'm going to just read it to y'all because I don't want this to be hard to be read. So we're going to do the breakdown of events. The first thing that the Mashiach is letting them know, do you not see all these things? He's testing their vision. Or are you looking in the spirit realm, or are you looking in natural? Because if you was in the spirit realm, you wouldn't be talking to me about the temple's outward adorning. You wouldn't be amazed because you know that it's in danger now. Here, this temple standing here decked out, but the temples that I chose to abide with, they're not right. Okay, reading on. Take heed, he says, the first thing he says, take heed that no one deceives you. So the first event is going to be deception. The Mashiach said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light. He is truth. He is the word. Keep that in mind. So deception's coming. For many will come in my character, saying I am the Messiah, and deceive many. That has already gone forth. Before we woke up, we were all deceived. The whole world is still in deception. Unless the Spirit of the Most High has fell upon us with the Spirit of truth, we are deceived. This is a truth that people have to recognize in the sequence of events when we're understanding Matthew 24. If you say to yourself, I've been deceived, okay, have I been, if you question yourself to say, have I been deceived? If you have walked into if you have any form of a spiritual walk and you have not checked down the list of deception, and you automatically assuming that all is well, you're not following the warning of the king. He warned us of deception. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. This is a part of the deception. The rumor of the wars and the reason why they're fighting is all a lie. We know the real reason why these wars are going to begin is because the Father's going to remember what they've done. He's going to see what they plan to do. He's seeing what they plan to do. And also, it's their recompense for judgment. We know all good and well that those who are fighting over in the Middle East and running the world do not belong where they're at. Okay? And check this out. He says, see that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So even if they're telling you within the world they got weapons that can destroy, wipe everything out, the Father just told you that's not going to wipe everything out. I don't care what they have. They don't declare my end. The word, the power of the Most High's, the Most High's word has the power. That's where the end is going to come. It's going to come in the last person hearing this word. When all has heard this gospel, the gospel truth. So if you woke up in 2016 or you woke up in 2007, it ain't about, because you woke up 2007 and you've been in this truth for a long time. You're like, Dad, when he coming? You have to consider that those that joined in the last are going to be as equal as those who started in the beginning. That's a promise the Most High gave us. He's telling us in here all how it's going to look when it's look like it's approaching the end and what the end is going to be. There shall be clarity concerning the Most High's warnings through his son, the Messiah, the living word in Matthew 24. Then he says, for nation will rise. He didn't say country against country. He didn't say state against state. He said nation will rise against nation. And kingdom against kingdom. It wasn't kingdoms, it was just kingdom. So we know that we're dealing with the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness. The nations are set up. They are in position of power by the kingdom of darkness. So if we see over here in verse 12 of Matthew 24, and it says, and because of lawlessness will abound, and the love of many will grow cold. We understand that lawlessness is an authority right now. We know that in kingdom there is, a chain of command. So in the kingdom of darkness, lawlessness is abounding. This is why our king said that this kingdom is not of my kingdom. So unless something has changed on the earth, we're still under the kingdom of darkness. Now, with that being said, under this kingdom, with these nations, what has these nations presented to us religiously that we need to discern if it's some deception in there? I'll give you a clue. He says over here in verse 23, if anyone says to you, look, he is here, which means they got to have an image to present. They have to have pictures to tell you to look, or a camera holding a live image. What gospel has presented us an image where we can say, look, this is the Messiah? It's evidently clear. Christianity, Catholicism. After the Romans, the Holy Roman Empire, the main religious force is Christianity, or Catholicism, with Christianity being under that umbrella. In Christianity, there is deception. We have to discern this. How can we discern this? We have to have the spirit of truth to open our eyes, because the world cannot receive the spirit of truth. So the world is voided from the truth of the gospel. Because had the gospel been going out this far, the end would have come. But the end has not come. So what we all have learned as gospel before is deception, is rumors, something that's not true, lies. He also says, or there, if anyone says to you, look, here is the Christ, or there, do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets, in other words, false messengers, false prophets, will rise and show great signs. He would say, oh, a messenger and a prophet is the same. Not so. Because the Most High can send someone as a messenger and they're not necessarily his prophet. And then they could technically be both as well. All right? And show great signs and wonders to deceive. Let me read that completely. For false messengers and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you beforehand. Therefore, if they say to you, look, here he's in the desert, do not go out. Or look, he is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. For as lightning comes. So, we got the first event is he's warning us of deception. The second one is wars are going to occur from rumors and lies. Why do these people want to fight for land that ain't theirs? Why do these people want to fight for inheritance that they have not inherited? What is the whole issue going on? Yeah. And it shows you that many will be deceived. Here you can watch on YouTube videos of brothers and you know, ministries of truth on the corners trying to bring out this word. And they'll have an image of Caesar Borgia with the devil horns and 666 and all that. And people will be like, that's not Jesus. No. Jesus was never true. Jesus never existed. Jesus is a whole figment of their imagination when they came up with the gospel of Christianity. How else was they going to be able to say, look, they thought by giving a picture of someone, it was going to be able to destroy the truth. They won't, even if they hear the words, even if they can't, they'll still see this image. They'll still see this. See, I have told you beforehand. Therefore, if they say to you, look, I read that part. Verse 27. For as lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will the coming of the Son of the Most High be. And it's also a trick when they say the Son of Man. Is he Son of Man when he's coming into the glory? This is what they argued about. Him being the Son of Man. In the appearance of what he appeared in, it was a appearance of man. But he is the Son of the Most High, the first begotten of the Most High. The Bible as we know it, was compiled and brought together through our enemies. They thought this was the final straw because they know that the word is the end for them. Their final attempt was to make the word be ineffective for us or try to take some books out. Hide some things over here, hide some things over there. The word of the Father is the beginning and the end. This is why Yahshua said, I am Alpha and Omega. He didn't say, I will be. He said, I am the beginning and the end. So in between could never matter because we read and we know that we have the victory. And we've already overcome the world. As we see now, the world is being exposed. And it's Hollywood. Hollywood's always been doing what they were doing. But when you have people that make you laugh, willing to take a standpoint in another light, when you see someone that you thought it was only supposed to make you laugh, and they start speaking truth in an unorthodox way, you have to begin to see the Father's hand, and you got to be able to see the Father in different ways. So he says, listen to this. Here's another clue. For wherever the carcass is, there the eagles will be gathered together. Carcass is the remains of death, a vessel, a remaining of a dead vessel. He says, were the eagles, almost all and he talked about nations. All the nations' symbol is the eagle. The ruling nations that ruled us, their symbol is the eagle. So they gathered together in the cause of death. If the Messiah gives us life, what do you think the enemy's giving you? Death. So they're all in a confederate union, Psalms 83, in agreement with death. He says, immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened. Have you ever heard if anyone talking about the end times saying the only sign of the end would be the sun not shining no more and the moon? Yeah, because you know why? This is the only thing that man cannot imitate. Man can't pull this off. They're going to give you fake messiahs that's going to appear. And it's why he also said, I don't care what shows up in the sky with no, if it's not from the east to the west, it's not me. And if they portrayed a lie for so long, they're going to have to complete their lie in the end. And we already know the Messiah is not Caucasian. So do we honestly think that they do anything with an appearance or any signs? What is the signs they really going to do? What signs? It ain't no, in the end, the signs is their gospel, the power, it's the financial backing that they have to back up the lies. They control the media. They control what we consume, things of such. So they have a certain hand in the power because lawlessness is abounding. We have to really hear this, family. It says lawlessness and love. Those two things, you actually know they're one because love is the fulfillment of the law. So he's telling you, because they don't want my law, they don't have no love. And that's what's going to abound in the earth. Now imagine a kingdom of darkness ruling with no love and no law. It's a chaotic earth. Can you imagine that? Just close your eyes and just imagine people going to and fro and then they want to blame it's the creator's fault. It's the creator's fault. The laws of the Most High is your protection. He knew. See, we weren't in the Garden of Eden. We didn't need to understand why he said, don't touch this and don't touch that. If a parent tells a child don't do something, the child normally should trust that the parent knows why it's been here longer. It has its best interest at heart. Because I'm going to tell you something. In a world of deception, if you don't have truth, you're going to be swallowed up. So he said, then the Son of the Son of the Most High will appear in heaven. What? When? When the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light and the stars will fall from him. It's talking about that great, remember in Matthew 25, talking about that darkest hour, midnight. When things really hit the fan. Then the Son of the Most High will appear. Because why? When he comes here, it's automatically war. War and rewards. He said, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give according to every man, according to his deeds. So we know that the nations of the nations are now under the rulership of lawlessness, abounding. They're abounding with the kingdom of darkness, right? The benefits is okay for them, right? But when the rewards of their work comes, when the reward of their labor comes, how rewarding will that be? What is the promise for their reward? Destruction. What is the promise for those who do the will of the Most High? Enter into your rest that I prepared for you all the way back when Adam and Eve couldn't get it right. It's still here. And matter of fact, I built it more upon it. Matter of fact, I went and made you a mansion in my Father's house because I told you that. Right? And he will send his angels with a great sound. Now listen to this. Now let's see where rapture falls in at, because I don't know where rapture falls in at. I'm gonna tell you where the concept of rapture comes in, but they removed the elect and placed everybody who believes in Jesus Christ as their Lord, personal Savior. Okay, listen to this. Now, if you come over to verse 22, it says, and unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened. Remember, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers in high places. If we're wrestling with them, like our forefather Jacob wrestled with them, and we overcome them, to him he will give power and dominion. The wrestle is with the flesh. The Most High don't care about flesh being saved, in other words. If he's talking about the elect, what did the elect do to their flesh to become elect? They overcame it. Because he's showing you here, if you hear a vision about somebody's body being yanked up, you a liar. Because flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom. See, Christianity talked about going to heaven, but the Messiah said the kingdom is at hand. In other words, it's within your reach. I'm here. The kingdom is here. Can you see it? Do you recognize when when a vessel of the kingdom is speaking to you? Can you see the signs? Because if you're able to see that, you won't be deceived. Now, verse 30. Hold on. Oh, we're verse 31. And he will send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather together his elect. The angels will gather. I've never heard any visions of anybody on the internet talking about, I had a vision about Jesus and he's raptured, and they mentioned 4 angels gathering for the north, south, east, and the west. If you have been a Christian and you're watching me now and you're what is she talking about? I'm here as a vessel, messenger of the Most High, higher the great I am that I am, to let you know that you've been entertaining lies. The gospel of Christianity is not going to prepare you for the kingdom. It's preparing you for the lies that the enemy has told you. A heaven in the sky. But our prayer says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. If the kingdom's within us and it's at hand, then that means it's time for you to be walking in your position of authority. Because even though this isn't our rulership, we're still presently here. This is their rulership. So in our rulership, they're going to presently see how righteousness rules compared to how the darkness rules. Okay. Now learn this parable from a fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is nigh. So when you see these things, I'm telling you, you ain't gonna be able to see this if my spirit of truth is not within you. You're going to have to follow deception, or you're going to be led astray. You're going to be what they call a foolish bride. This is why it shouldn't be ironic that big mega pastors like T.D. Jakes is entertaining people's parties, and recovery or redemption and repentance is not the fruits that's following that. All right. So you also, when you see all these things, know that the end is near, at the doors. At the doors. Behold, I knock. You don't know how prophetically he's going to visit you. You don't know in what season, what time he's going to prophetically test your scene. But remember, at the woman at the well, he started speaking to her and she said, but you said, hold up. Somewhere in that conversation, she recognized the Messiah. But yet the disciples was over here like, tell us. And she said, hey, you said that in Jerusalem or on this mountain where we ought to worship. So she probably wasn't convinced that they'd be scattered. He said, yes, you, my ma'am, one day. Not particularly you, but the day cometh where neither here or Jerusalem, where the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. In the spirit, which is in him, according to truth. Not according to lies. Not according to Christianity. Not according to spiritual or new age or whatever this stuff out here. If it's not coming from thus saith the Most High, it's from thus saith that guy. And we can't get caught up in what that guy's talking about. Because that guy, let me see if I can get a little picture real quick out of a kid's Bible for you. Because these characters, they got to give an account for how they took the oracles of the true divine creator and have felt felt all the need to do things like this. Why did they do that? So that Jacob could never stand up and get into the rightful place where we're supposed to be. The commandments is your prosperity, Joshua 1:8. The commandments is your protection. Psalms 37, fear a fervent wall around you, those that fear the Most High. The commandments is your everything. It's also your DNA. It's who you are. Without the Torah, would we have ever found who we really were? No, leave it to these heathens. We would have been forever lost. He's giving us clues. Notice the first thing he mentioned was, y'all got to be destroyed first. Y'all got to get, everything has to be rebuilt. And this is the constructor talk. This is the, what's the word for it? The architect himself saying this. We now see that every time that Yahshua was talking, he was really saying stuff. When he tells you, I feel like, honestly, I can be humble to say, I fully learned what Alpha and Omega means today. Let there be was the beginning, and it is finished was in the middle. No, matter of fact, it is finished. He declared it then. When he died, he declared it then. It was already done. But just think about it. His words designed all things. We can look in the beginning was. And then we can look over here in Revelation. We can look in Esdras. Yes, a book that they took out of our KJV Bibles, only 66 books. Yes. We can look in the books that was taken from us and put the pictures together. You see, Daniel did it. Whenever you read Matthew 24, have you ever heard any Christian refer to Daniel chapter 9 when speaking of the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet? If so, read, please understand. In other words, please understand your offenses, my people. Because if you don't see how you offended me, you're gonna be staying desolate because of your abominations. Let's go to Daniel chapter 9. So check it out. So here Daniel says, in the first year of his reign, verse 2 of Daniel 9, I, Daniel, understood by the books. By the books. Do you understand? Our scrolls was always rolled up. It wasn't ever compiled. So Isaiah understood you needed to go here a little, there a little. Line upon line. Right? The number of the years specified by the word of the Most High through Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem. So the Father said, I'm going to have Jerusalem being desolate for 70 years. All right? Then I set my face towards the Most High to make requests by prayer and supplication with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. And I prayed to the Most High, my Father, and made confession and said, O Most High, great and awesome keeper, husbandman, who keeps his covenant and mercy with those who love him and with those who keeps his commandments. How did we get scattered again? What did Moses tell us? Deuteronomy 28. Notice how many people in church, Christianity, will do a 10-day Daniel fast and do whatever they got to do, but yet they have not learned corporate repentance. This is Daniel not coming as an individual mindset. He says, who keeps his commandments to those who love him. We have sinned and committed iniquity. We have done wickedly and rebelled, even by departing from your precepts and your judgments. Neither have we heeded your servants, the prophets. So those who are not heeding to the prophets, typically, what religion will not have you heed the prophets? Tells you that we're not under the law no more. Tell you, okay, you want to do away with the law, but why would you do away with a prophet? Why would you read their stories and love about Elijah outrunning the chariot and love about him bringing down fire and love about the widow Elijah helping with the widow, but you can't acknowledge what they was talking about when they was just giving instruction? This is why we get little books like this with little kitty animated stories of the highlights. Let's write the great records down and put it as white people. This is not harmless. This is a part of our deception, family. So we see, we have not heeded your servants, the prophets who spoke. Notice, prophets are servants of the Most High. They serve the Most High. This is why Levi had no inheritance with the other tribes. So when you come into this truth, waking up in these last days, you've become awakened, part of a generation of priests and priestess. Okay. Oh, Most High, righteousness belongs to you, but to us shame of face, as it is this day, to the men of Judah, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and all the house of Ephraim, those near and those far off, in all the countries to which you have driven them, because of the unfaithfulness which they have committed against you. I told you the commandments was our protection. Pastor won't tell you this. Why? Is he gonna be the wolf when it's all said and done, and flee from the sheep? But Yasha said, I am the good shepherd. So I will warn you of wolves who come in sheep clothing, telling you that they are me, and inwardly they're ravenous wolves. The good shepherd, John chapter 10, verse 11. Right? So let's get back to Revelations 1:8. When Yasha said, I am the Alpha and Omega. If our King is telling us, I am the beginning and the end, in between is not going to startle us. Yes, Jeremiah 30 tells us that men have their hands on their loins, girded about, in the last hours and stuff during Jacob's trouble. But we shall be saved out, which means we going to find salvation in the midst of our trouble. How wonderful. How grand. And the enemies know this. So that meant no matter what you've done, what you tried to do, yes, my Father gave me a spirit where I can look and see when you try to put a trap in, and I'm not falling for it. And I'm going to be the mouthpiece for my brothers and sisters so they don't fall for it as well. The conclusion. The Father's word being spoken, do not quench, do not be shameful. But when he urges you to speak, speak. Because your mouth, letting his spirit be speaking through you, could be the very second that ends this kingdom. It's the power of the word. Joshua 11, from my precept my king gave me. Joshua 11. Joshua, Judges, Ruth. Okay. 11. 11. Okay. Verse 18. And it says, Joshua's the book of war. Okay. 18. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. There was not in a city that made peace with the children of Jacob, except the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon, and all the others they took in battle. For it was of the higher to harden their hearts, that they should come against the children of Jacob and battle, and that they might utterly destroy them, and that they might receive no mercy, but that he might destroy them, as Ahiah had commanded Moses. That's another. Okay. Yeah. So. I'm trying to see how that really ties in. So, in other words, Joshua, being a vessel of the Most High, had to war against. It's like the disobedience of our nation causes war for us. It causes troubles for us. It brings turmoil in our life. When you're wondering why things ain't going right and this is going that way, it's check your life for disobedience. If I was requiring something that needs to be dealt with, he ain't gonna budge because you squealing and crying because of how comfortable it's feeling. We know that Joshua was a man who was zealous for the Most High, young man. But yet it said, for their disobedience, it caused them to fight. The Most High hardened the hearts of the Hivites, which means if you obey him, he can soften the hearts of man towards you. So this is why Yasha said that you will be hated. Matthew 24, you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. You hated because you received salvation, and the other ones I didn't come to. And your salvation brings their destruction and their and makes them become servants. Because it's either you're a servant of the Most High or you're a servant of Satan or the wicked one. Matthew 24. 24. Verse 9. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. I don't care what Christianity's talking about. This ain't happening again. We're not going back on slave ships. Yeah, we still being killed. We still hated by them. A Jewish man can't proclaim this hatred. And on top of that, they got them underground tunnels. They just got discovered. All kinds of crazy stuff going on. Do this look like the type of people that the Most High is dealing with? No. Now, you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. If you look at his name, because you got the bread of life. And if anybody else wants it, they got to come onto who? They got to come onto you. But we got to have the heart and the mind of the apostles of old. Because let me tell you something. The Father didn't design this earth for only 10% to be living righteous and the other half, and the majority of it, 90%, to be living wicked. That's not what his idea was. He said every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. They're going to hate you because you got the light. In the world of darkness, while darkness and loss is abounding, you have the light. A good leader. Oh, these American people can't trust their presidents. They can't trust Great Britain. They can't trust Queen Elizabeth and the rest of them ruling families. But we have a good leader. The resurrection. Even death can't stop us. Since they glorify death so much and even have a holiday, Halloween and the Day of the Dead, Cinco de Mayo. Just look what goes on a consistent basis without stopping in this kingdom. What's abounding? What is the world entertaining? Holidays, right? So their festive gatherings is of holidays. Is the Father glorified in that? Does the churches draw the line there? Or are they participating as well? If your church looks like the world, I don't care if my pastor tells me some conviction things, but he got a Christmas tree up on Christmas, and he talking about Happy Easter with baskets and kids. If you're participating in those ritualistic, paganistic ways, you're none of the fathers. If you're not participating and in your heart you want to, that's even worse. It is time that the true gospel be preached so people can wake up and realize, why were we brought here? This is Black History Month, right? Why does our history always have to start with slavery? Why can't we figure out how we got in slavery? Why can't we figure out who we were beforehand? And why can't we tell our children, not what we came over and invented for y'all, but if we can see all these great things we did, we can't still see we are great people? Why couldn't we align ourselves with the people of the Bible? Why is that so far-fetched? Why do we have to be crazy? Or why does it have to be we're all spiritually his children? Well, he tells us in Matthew 24 that the angels are coming for his elect. And in Revelation, it talks about who his elect is. And it says out of each tribe will be sealed 100. Total, 144,000 from each tribe. 12,000 from each tribe. Hey, because there's movies coming out. You know, every time before Easter movies come out about a new resurrection or a new, something like that. They gonna be found liars when he get here. What would you be found? Okay. So we have the breakdown. First one is deception. Deception. Then lawlessness. Wars of war. Not only that, when we were also us being their product created war. Because think about it. Civil War. You had the North and the South fighting. You see, it wasn't really about freedom. Edom only care about one thing, and that's the bag. That's all they care about. So verse 33. So you also, when you see all these things, know that it is even near at the doors. Surely I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away till all things take place. So everything's not fulfilled. People will see this generation thing and think we can come up with a doctrine of reincarnation. No, he's trying to say is this generation that produced this curse will not be removed until all things fulfilled. Because this is a chain of command. You do something, it's going to ripple something. Take my brakes off my vehicle and I get to drive and I'm going to keep rolling. You take a hold of sin and it's going to get the rolling off in your life. Stuff going to go haywire. All right? Heaven and earth will pass away. What did he say? Heaven and earth will pass away. But my words will by no means pass away. What did he say? But my words will never pass away. But of that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. The Spirit of the Father only knows. Why? Because the Spirit is examining the earth. Is everybody in place where they're supposed to be? Have I reached every single person? Because the Spirit's being quenched. If the Spirit's being denied to move, we're holding up the deliverance. We're holding up salvation. What lies are on the line here? That's why I be frustrated. I felt y'all this morning. Okay? Even in hair school, being a light. So that the hair industry is not always known for gossip, where the daughters of Zion can begin to be raised or awakened out of faces dolled up, but their hearts is trash. Like what my brother Humble say, a face of heart's trash, but they face immaculate. All right? Heart's trash. We got to work on our heart, sisters. All right? All right. But the days of Noah, but as the days of Noah were, so also the coming of the Son of the Most might be. For as in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. Here's your rapture taken away, you being snatched by the flood. Not by the flood. Taken away, you being taken away by the Most High's wrath. Comparing to a flood back with Noah's days. Then 2 men will be in the field. One will be taken and the other left. Because think about it. When those who are left, who shall be able to stand and be like him and see him in his appearance? Obviously the ones who's left behind. Like Edra said, he's able to keep the creature from the danger throughout the tribulations. He wouldn't tell you to endure to the end. If in between there, you're going to get snatched. You like Christians looking for the rescue, looking for like how long I got till I can get right. Or I'm going to get snatched up before it all hits the fan. He ain't going to require nothing of me. But unbeknownst to you, because you don't have the records of the Greek captivity, you were unaware that while Constantine came on the scenes, our ancestors were martyrs. Our ancestors was destroyed for standing up for righteousness. You wouldn't have had this book had it been for the bloodshed of our ancestors. So we can't necessarily think that we're going to have it easy. When we look over in Revelation, it talks about how long will you not avenge us on the earth? When the spirits are saying, how long will you not avenge us of those who shed our blood on the earth? And he said, hold up. Until those go through what you went through, then all's fulfilled. So there's going to be another. Obama didn't order no guillotines for nothing. If you ain't preparing your mind, your head, and your heart, and your family to possibly die for the Mashiach, then what are we doing? We're supposed to be, and then guess what? Hashatan, because he also works for our Father, he gonna make it so easy for us to want to get up out of here. Because guess what? It's gonna get uncomfortable being a righteous vessel living amongst the darkness. It's gonna get very uncomfortable to the point where you're gonna be like, I don't have nothing here anyway. All right. So the destruction of the temple was fulfilled in Deuteronomy 28. We've been scattered to the 4 corners. It has happened also in Daniel 9. Okay. Here we are in the midst of the wars and the rumors going forth thereof. But one thing I know is this, as long as the sun's still shining during the day and the moon's still shining at night and the stars have not fallen, this gospel got to be preached. The power of the Father's word is more stronger than any vaccine, nuclear bomb, or because why? It's the Father's word that's gonna end it all. It ain't gonna be no war, no nothing. Nothing else got the authority to end it. It's his word. I love you, brothers and sisters. This is the time for any questions you have me. And if not, I pray that y'all really let the Holy Spirit bring this full picture to you all. You got to know his word is set all things into course. His word is going to end it all. Make sure you're in proper aligning with the word. Be in him. He said, I've already overcome. This is how you overcome. What? The word. If he is the word and I've already overcome it, how are you going to overcome? How are you going to be able to endure? With the word. Get creative. Start finding ways to memorize. Live it. Love you all. Sweet peace, blessings, and love. Shalom.